Hey everybody, it's Chris Bella. Welcome to the Entrepreneur Motivation Podcast. In this episode, I just wanted to talk about the power of journaling. And I know I've probably mentioned journaling a few times before, but what the really cool thing is that when you've got enough journal entries and you can flip back on a certain day and see what you were thinking, what you were doing, how you were feeling, all those different things are really, really cool to see. I've definitely talked about this to other people before. There's that argument or debate on what's better, writing out your journal or typing it out. I personally like to do a little bit of both depending on what I'm up to and how I'm feeling. So, for example, I do all my journaling in Google Sheets every morning as part of my routine. And I now have enough history on my journals where I can look back on today, 2 years ago, and today, last year. So, for example, I'm not sure if I did this exercise recently on a podcast interview or episode, but I'm going to do it again. I'm recording this on December 12th, 2020, and I'm going to quickly just search December 12th, 2020, and I'm going to read what I typed within reason. I'm not going to share my screen. I'm not sure what it's going to say, but okay. So 2 years ago today, I said the key focus remains to improve income. Sam mentioned to refi banks, look for debt. Okay, so I was looking to refinance my house. I do like where we live now. It's a good location and pretty cozy. However, I might consider selling if I can get what I want for it. Then repeat the process on another house. I'll keep options open. Thinking about starting a new podcast on affiliate marketing, telling the story of me starting from the bottom and quote unquote making it. I can interview those who have been successful and then teach new strategies I learned weekly. I'm not sure if that's the best start to the show first, or maybe try to find to do successfully, do affiliate marketing first. So I was thinking about doing another podcast, which of course I have not done. I've been focused on the same podcast that currently I enjoy making, but it's interesting to see what I was thinking about. And now if I look back on last year's journal, 2019, on the 12th, this is what I said. It's a new day with new opportunities. I can't believe we're already in December. The year just flew by. It feels like I was just at the Affiliate Summit event the other day, and that was in January of 2019. I've grown with mindset and closed a few real estate transactions, but I feel like I'm not doing well enough. I have to keep pushing. I need to take outbound marketing much more seriously. My friend Austin shared a video on Instagram that was a clip from Wolf of Wall Street where the guy is saying, behind on credit card bills, good, pick up the phone and start dialing. He's basically saying like, your wife hates you or your girlfriend hates you, good, pick up the phone and start dialing. And basically he was just saying that if things are wrong in your life, he wants you to solve your problems by becoming rich. If you've seen the movie, you know what he's talking about. And I love that quote because it's like so many of your problems could be solved. I know money won't solve them all, but it's a lot easier to pay your bills with money instead of goodwill, right? And then I had a couple of updates on, showing homes to clients and things that I was doing on current transactions. And then today's journal, I'm super excited to share because it's just been like a really solid last couple of days in terms of getting offers and interest on different listings that I have going on. So I was super pumped. So today's journal, let's effing go, super pumped. I went to an open house from a certain realtor yesterday. I met the agent who was representing the buyer who made an offer on my house. So 2 years ago, I was trying to sell my house or refinance. And I do have an offer on my own personal house for sale right now. Built up some rapport, got them to agree to a certain number. I was like, look, if we can get this number, no repairs as is, we can make this deal work. And she verbally told me later that night on a text message, buyer agreed, sending you the revised offer in the morning. I have another listing that we had under contract. It fell through. And I put here in the journal, I got an offer higher on that one property and I'm expecting another. I've got a second showing on another listing. I hope that produces an offer. And then there's another property on Kings Forest in this area called Kingwood that I set to active yesterday. And today I already had 8 showing requests. There's an app that I use to schedule it. I've already got 8. And then I've got a really big deal closing here in 2 weeks and a few clients that I've got calls with that are ready to start buying houses and looking at houses and getting their pre-approval letters. And so I said, I'm heading to this potluck at my girlfriend's CPA firm, and I'm going to follow up on leads and offers in between. Hell yes. So from 2 years ago where I was still not really sure what to do and I was self-doubt and things like that. I mean, I still face those things sometimes, but at times it's interesting because you don't know exactly what's going to happen. And so a lot has changed in the last 2 years. I still have the self-doubt, but now I'm like, okay, I'm pretty badass too. I've clearly proved to myself I've had some great months. I continue to get new leads. I price properties well. I put stuff out on social media and I get multiple showings and offers on different properties. So it could be a little bit of the market being hot, but I also know it's because I'm just consistent and I just outwork so many other people. And I don't even necessarily work harder all the time. I just work smarter. There's a lot of people who do a lot of stuff and they act busy and they do a lot of things that are stupid and just waste time, to be honest. For example, people will try to call you or leave your voicemails or email you when a text message would just be fine. Quick text, didn't need to be a 10-minute phone call. And I guard my time very well. So one person told me the other day when I put my listing up, and this is probably an investor who's trying to lowball, and they asked me, hey, is this still available? And I said, yeah, it just went live on the market. I said, yes, I was being nice, but of course it's still available. I just freaking listed it like 2 hours ago. They asked if it's still available. And then it's like, okay, thank you, sir. Do you have 10 minutes for a quick call? And I was like, no, I don't. All the information you need is on the listing. Read it, schedule a showing with your agent, and write up an offer. I don't have 10 minutes to waste on probably someone who's not even a serious buyer. I bet it was a wholesaler who doesn't know what they're doing. And I know that because I worked in that area first. And so I've dealt with a lot of incompetent people like that. But not saying all wholesalers are incompetent. And I know at some level I was there too, and I didn't know. But at the same time, my time's become too valuable where I don't want to waste it on questions and leads that won't really go anywhere. So I'm selective with my time. But in any case, the point of this whole episode is that it's really important if you can journal and you can actually write your stuff out. It's really cool to see what happens. And speaking of writing it out, I actually wrote down a journal the other day. I was at the dog park with my dog, and this was on the 10th. I'm at the dog park and it's beautiful outside, 77 degrees and blue skies. I'm sitting at a picnic table at the moment. And as I was sitting there, this little wet dog jumped up that was in the little lake. And I just wrote down, some little wet dog just jumped up on the table, LOL. It's pretty amazing that 4 or 5 podcasts that I was interviewed on went live within the last week or so. I anticipate a good amount of traffic to my podcast and social media from it all. My focus needs to remain lead generation based. I'll continue to create original content on all platforms while also going on to other platforms such as podcasts and maybe even media appearances when possible. All the press and backlinks will grow my presence and likely result in real estate business as well. So I wrote stuff down and then I brainstormed some ideas that I want to focus on next. Like maybe I can get a landing page to get referrals out of people in my audience who want to thank me. And I can have a link to book a consultation call if someone wants to work with me on buying or selling a house. I have those links, but I don't really extend that offer to anyone in my audience. But if I could find a way to make that happen, I would love to. I could add more affiliate links as resources. And I also brainstormed a few things that I want my virtual assistant to be able to work on. So she could help set up events virtually, virtual events, create marketing materials, find more opportunities for podcast swaps, focus on real estate podcasts for me to go on. I'm working on a course for real estate agents. So that would be a great way for me to promote that and pre-sell it in a way and grow that following on the real estate agent side as well. And all these different ideas come to me when I'm researching and writing them down and journaling, but it's a really cool way to track your growth. So that's just a quick episode to talk about my journals and how it's been awesome to see my own growth through my own lens. And then one more pro and con, I guess, between writing it down and typing it out. You're more intentional when you write it down, but when you type it out, I can quickly click Control F and I was able to find this day, 2 years ago, this day last year. If I had them in journals, I'd have to find where the physical journal is. And if I lost it or left it somewhere, then I'd be really upset because all those thoughts and ideas that I had thought of would be gone. Or if someone recycled it or thought it was junk, there's so many things that could happen with a physical copy versus something that's in the cloud. So that's one reason that I prefer to do Google Sheets to automatically store my journals and I have them accessible. If anyone steals my laptop or phone or I lose it or like a house fire, God forbid, right? I'd be able to easily buy another laptop, sign in to my cloud accounts on Dropbox, Gmail. With LastPass is a really cool tool. I can log into LastPass and that will have that's the master password for all my other accounts. So I can just log into LastPass on a new computer and I'm like back in business. I've got all my tabs. Everything is basically on the cloud. I don't really need my computer. I'll occasionally save stuff to the desktop, but it's not really required. It's more like temporary files. If it's really important, I put it up in Dropbox. I've got the business plan with like 3 terabytes or 2 terabytes of information storage capacity and a bunch of different Gmail accounts. So yeah, if you have any questions about that, just shoot me a DM on Instagram, chrisbello09. I've answered a few questions on how I journal, what I journal about, how long I journal. Like it's been a process, like a learning process for me too, because first you got to start writing something down, and then you can get a little more advanced, like, okay, let me write down 2 pages, or let me journal for 5 minutes, or let me just write a paragraph. You know, it's really up to you and your preference. But in any case, that's all I have for you in this episode. I hope you found some value and you found some nuggets. And if you did, why don't you go and journal about it tomorrow, or maybe even right now? Just write down what time it is, what day it is, what you learned, and what you want to do with that information. And now you'll have it on paper somewhere or in a Google Sheet where you'll be able to hold yourself accountable instead of just forgetting when something else comes up down the road. So with that being said, I'll catch you all in the next episode. Thank you once again for listening, and talk soon. Bye.